Casino, Culture 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 Casino, oh, Culture Casino, Culture Casino, Culture Casino, oh, Culture Casino.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Very excited this morning to say good morning on this Saturday, March 15th. There is a lot. Thank you. A lot to talk about. And, of course, we already have a lovely reminder, a gentle reminder that I need to get the bear dancing from the weatherman for 2 Culture Casino cash right off the bat, saying, here, culture bear, here, culture bear. I guess I need a bigger rumble rant to get Culture Casino attention. No, you don't. And I'm going to work on it. I told you I was going to work on it this weekend. So I missed you yesterday, weatherman, just so you know. It's good to see you. Jill's out there. We got a lot of people here waiting. Not nearly the crowd we normally have. That is my fault. I didn't get a chance to advertise it a half an hour ahead of time. And yeah, my voice is in the basement. That's very true. Yeah. It is. I think that's a result of allergies plus snoring equals growl. I'm very growly. Down in the ground. Deeple's in the house, though. Good to see you. And, of course, Mr. Cat is here. Curtis Shaw, good morning to you. Thanks for being here, along with Andrew. 46-2. What's going on, Andrew? I've been missing you. 11 Alpha is here. And, of course, we've got Mephisto, the Mephisto man. Let's see. We got Snakes and Funerals. Hello. Bad Bill is here. I did a bad Bill. All right. Who else is out there? Let's see. Walter Tomaszewski. Good to see you, my friend Q2Cast TV from across the states. Just stopped by to say hello. Howdy. I hope you're doing well, Bo. You've been having some trouble, man. We're all behind you. Keep up the good work with the news coverage. Deej is here. What's up, Deej? Good to see you, my friend. DK Bones in the house. We got Philip Gaming out there. Hello. And a few more people just rolling in like Read by Nature. What's up? Philip. Look, I will be doing some gaming probably later today after I get the GIF finalized for the Dancing Culture Bear weatherman. And yeah, just want to say good morning to my friend Clifflix, whose channel you should be checking out. Probably the most heartwarming thing you can do for yourself if you're an old school Disney fan. I'm just going to tell you that. And all hail Bear Dog for $5 Culture Cash. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. We will be starting the little goal program thing that other people have been trying out. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to offer up some really strange rewards, which will embarrass me. I don't know why I do it, but I will, and hopefully you will enjoy it. So we'll start that on Monday. So look out for I guess, a goal. I don't know. We'll make it really small. We'll make it like 10 super chats or whatever. I think the super chats have to be a minimum of 5 culture cash. I think that's how it works. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I'm seeing other people do it. It'll just be a way to kind of celebrate all the support that I get on the channel. So I guess it'll be fun. It'll be me being an idiot, but hey, what's new? JPRPH1's been here for 10 months. Say good morning, folks. Good morning to you, my friend, and thank you. Thank you for your support. Let's see who else rolled through the door. Unknown is here. Hail to you, my friend. I have so many great folks in the chat, like Frank. Frank is here, and the beautiful Deeple is here. Yo quiero Taco Bell. That's right. The beautiful deep ball, the beautiful deep ball. All right. Jay is here. Jay! Morning, boss. Good to see you, Jay. Thanks for being here. And, of course, the lovely Juliet. Good morning. Good morning, Juliet. All right. Of course, it's good afternoon over there. And I love it when she calls me young Gandalf. That's so nice. Let's see, we got a gifted membership already this morning. The beautiful Deeple was gifted a membership by Weatherman. Good morning, Weatherman, and thank you again, my friend. Let's see. So much going on. Lightning crashes. It did. Well, bam. One wonderful gift. Dr. Bravo, good morning to you. All right. We're going to start off lighthearted. We're going to try to get all the way into the show so that when we exit, it's time for Salty Nerd Podcast. But it's possible we could end early because I think I only grabbed like 6 or 7 stories total. Not the normal 8 to 10. Look, at some point, the news gets redundant, I think. And I think you would all agree. It kind of feels like we've had Snow White for 2 years because, well, we have. See, originally, some of this controversy started all the way back in 2022. This thing has been going on forever. And it's all this one actress's fault, which we'll get there. We're definitely talking about that, but it's later because she illustrates that she has no clue about how the movie business works because she promotes her failures to promote her next failure. Insanity. Our good friend, Latino Slant, says, give me your global Snow White box office run. 420 million. I think 420. Polly. Why? What's yours, dude? And thank you for the $2. But what's yours, man? I'm just curious. I don't think it's going to go more than 420. I mean, it's hit and miss on the reviews right now from people I know that have seen it. So I'm curious what yours is, man. We got Keely Chow out in the house. What's going on? What's going on with you, buddy? Roll Tide. She doesn't need your business, bigots. Well, she ain't getting it. Well, actually, she has to. She's getting mine. I mean, technically, I didn't pay for the ticket, but still. I got to go see it on Thursday. Man, that's going to suck rocks. Read by Nature's out there. Good to see you, buddy. Judicon. What's going on, Judicon? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Our favorite polar bar is Har. Snortopubis Cuber. This to Phobos. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Jay says, remember, the positive. Accentuate the positive. Eliminate the negative. 800 to a billion. I love you, Polly, but if you think that's true, if it gets there, dude, I'll buy you a pizza. I'm just saying. You might be a pizza richer. But she was in West Side Story. Yeah, she was. Ugh, and terrible. Terrible. All around. Spielberg had a ill-conceived moment in the production of the film, and the film itself really didn't feel like it was supposed to. Musicals are basically shot-for-shot remakes in film, and that's usually what makes them good. Clifflix, man, you're generous today for 5 more Culture Casino cash. Thank you, my friend. Do you wonder if Steven Spielberg regrets ever casting Zegler with her being so anti-Semitic? What a horrible woman. He gave her first big break. I would imagine he does. But he won't do it publicly. He's a classy man. Seriously, Steven Spielberg, classy dude. He is all smiles and always full of positivity. I don't ever think I've seen him negative in anything, ever. Any piece of press, any behind the scenes stuff. I've seen his like deep concern face over whether or not a shot would work, talking about some of the stuff in Jurassic Park, but I have never seen him on a red carpet, in a random crowd shot or anything like that, looking anything less than, the peak of professionalism. And I think that he kind of expects that out of people, but I don't know. I think it'll do 70% of Little Mermaid. Well, that's not profitable. That'll be very, very bad. But yeah, I do think so, Clifflix. I think he does regret it. I really, truly do. I regret it. Of course I do. It's just not very good. And it was terrible timing. The marketing campaign was garbage. I don't know. Very strange. Very strange indeed. We got the almighty Black Az out there. Snow White will make $10 billion. So I hope so. That would be, I would love to be that wrong. I'm not going to be. But look, Disney has one more bite of the apple after this. You see what I did there? You proud of me? It's pretty funny. Anyway, and that's really doomsday because these MCU films that are coming up are like snore bore, uninspiring, no buzz. And I think the biggest problem coming out the gate was Florence Pugh promoting it as like an A24 film. young lady, A24, they make movies and they make profitable movies most of the time. First of all, I don't know if Thunderbolts will be profitable. That's up for debate. But I will say it's not going to be a blockbuster. And A24 doesn't make blockbusters. So there's that. Anyway, Florence Pugh. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Who else rolled for the dough? I showed my mom the trailer. She only liked the dwarves. Wow. Well, that's fair, Andrew. That is fair. It's kind of a bummer, right? It just is. It just is. It's the Disney movie of 1937. There would be nothing else that would have followed had that failed. Really crazy. She got a Vita. I saw that. Oh, so great with Amita on Broadway. Another movie project to announce. Hate to tell you, she's not going anywhere. Well, yeah. Well, she hasn't made a profit yet. She hasn't had a successful film project yet. Are you saying this is the successful film project? I don't know. How much do you think it costs, Paulie, at the end of the day? I'm not sure. I'm just curious. She doesn't have the quote-unquote massive following on social media you would think she would have to have, if that's a metric that we're now going to use to whether or not you get a film. If that's the case, I think, Nerdrotic needs a film. Going to have to get him in something, some goofy comedy with prison humor. That's a joke. I love you, Gary. I'm just saying. Hey, Ann's here. Good morning. Let's see. Hey, Matt G. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for wrenching. Hey, Jesus Sabalos Jr. or Jesus A. Sabalos Jr. says, "Hey, Culture, just got in. Why does it look like John Campea is looking over your shoulder?" Oh no, that's Chow Yun Fat or whatever. I'm gonna get some blowback on that. I don't care. Donald Vermillion's here. She's going to Broadway. On Broadway, she's a theater kid. She doesn't have a lot of options. Her Romeo and Juliet ran just long enough to break even, according to reporting. So there's that. I love it when Polly stops by. Let's see what love is what we got. Go Apple, go. Yeah. Commander Ed Straker Shadow is here. Well, thank you. We are having a happy Saturday. Come on, Culture, work faster. I think a Nerdrotic movie would be awesome. That's right. Gary and Az buddy cop movie. Well, that'd be perfect. Except it has to be based in the UK, so they have to be carrying around those worthless whistles. Be like Paul Blart Mall Cop, and oh man, I'm trying to think of who else would be misplaced. It would be funny though. Coffee. Donald's like, holy smoke. I feel special. You read my comment. I read a lot of people's comments. I like saying good morning to people. I like y'all. I like John Walden. He's from UK. He's across the pond. Look at that guy. He's great. Got a good channel. Kind of a friend. And our good friend Clifflix is promoting the channel right now. So smash the like. Thank you very much. Smash the likes. Eldritch, Lord Haster, who's been here for 1,000 years. Billy Madison. There you go. Oh, man. All right, let's get going. So we're going to start off light. It's something that I saw this morning I thought was interesting. First of all, turning something into a musical is always a challenge and or ill-advised. But I'm taking a look at what's going on with the follow-up to Clueless, and I was like, hey, this may not be as bad as I think it could be. And so let's take a look at the Clueless musical director has no interest in being modern. We'll stick with the 1995 themes and fashion. That's right. And to be fair, I really loved this movie. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Clueless was great. And I liked Elle. I liked the character. But the 90s teen hit Clueless has been brought to stage of London's West End, which is basically our Broadway, by the film's original writer and director, Amy Heckerling, who has focused on keeping the 90s theme integral to the story because it was a film of its time. This is something Hollywood has, I think, forgotten. I think Paulie would agree. I think any film critic would agree. We've forgotten that we can put things in times that make them more comfortable and people more at ease with some of the things you're going to present if you're trying to be PC. You can pretend like you're PC if you just base everything on the era from which it's supposed to come, which means if you make another, let's see, Huckleberry Finn or anything like that, you just keep it in the time period it's in. And if it's offensive, it's of its time. So shut up. So anyway, Heckerling told BBC News that she had no interest in being modern and has stuck closely to the original story, the 1999 film inspired by Jane Austen's novel Emma and starring Alicia Silverstone, who was genius in this. I just was like, this is like a brilliant actress at the time, just the ability to do that. As lead character Cher, and took $88 million to the box office. Way back then, that was a lot of money. But I'm looking forward to hearing if this is good. And if it is, I hope it makes it here to the States so that I can actually see it. But I like stuff like this when it's based in its time. I think that actually works. And by the way, I said Elle because I was thinking of Legally Blonde. But anyway, I think this will be interesting, and I hope it's received well, and I hope it makes it somewhere to a part of the United States where I can go and see it. Because believe it or not, I don't mind musicals. I just think it's tough to turn things into musicals. This wouldn't be, especially if it has good music. There's that. Romeo and Juliet recouped. That's what I said. Yeah, recouped at $7 million during its extended sold-out 20-week run. Yeah, that's true. It's true, which I actually reported on a 6-minute daily. That means it made its money back, guys. Yay. Kaliki Okedi in the house says, Culture always make sure to never read my comments. Oh, I don't know about that. Is that true? Do I never read your comments, my friend? I don't know if that's true. Tulls is here. What's going on, Tulls? Good afternoon. Over there, CC from Denmark. Well, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being there. I like that part of the world. Family history stretches to a lot of the globe. Let's say, hey, pirateer sailors here. Good morning from Maine. I love Maine. It's cold up there. Plus, y'all have great fishing. Plus, you get us lobsters, all kinds of stuff. Love it. Who asked for a musical everything? Well, this might be one that makes sense, and I'm with you, Ann. I mean, don't turn like some things into musicals that don't belong, like Joker 2. That was bad. Thousands of years. Time to add to the lore again. There you go, Eldrick Lord Hoster. Thousands of years. All right. Man, my voice is deep today. Crazy. I'm crazy. Crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy. All right. Weird Science. Actually, believe it or not, because of Oingo Boingo and Danny Elfman, you could remake Weird Science and steal all their songs. It would work perfectly. But I don't know, man. How do you replace RDJ and some of the at the time, RDJ was character actor. How do you replace those bits and pieces and guys? I mean, I'm sure you could cast people that look very similar to them now. A couple like images just flash in front of my head, but I think you could do it. I just thought this was interesting. I'm like, hey, if you're going to remake something and you're going to turn it into a musical, this is not a bad choice. Weird Science might work too. Because the 90s has such a rich music catalog, and well, all the advertisers are going back to 90s music. Why shouldn't we? The 80s and the 90s were the best time. Truly. Is Miss Sherry here? There she is, and she's not even stabby today. The lovely Sherry. Hello, dear. Hope you're doing well. I know. Good for Heckerling, right? Yeah. The play is on the West End. Yes. Too many shadows, whispering voices, faces on posters, too many choices. West End girls. Do-do-do-do. Speaking of great songs. If you didn't recognize that, that's lyrics. West End boys, West End girls. Carl Singh says, I just hope that it will succeed in this area. I think it probably will. Especially on in the West End. So, yeah. Joker 2, yeah. What? Larry Aneem, so nice you say it twice. Larry, he's been a member for 1,000 years. No, 46 months anyway, or 45 months. Says, hail, CC man. Nice to see one on a Saturday. You betcha, my friend. You betcha, my friend. My friend. I saw that Commander Ed Straker Shadow has been a member for 47 months. My goodness, you guys. Thank you for the 4 years of support almost. Crazy. Says, Gary's movie. Ex-con, married with children, starring his high forehead internet stepson, Limus, a.k.a. Ryan. Oh, that would be funny. Dude, I love Ryan. He's so funny. Let's see if I can find that for a regular. Yeah, we can highlight it so y'all can read it. So I think it's funny. I think that would work. I think you could do it. I think it would work. In a world. Terry Rose, I wish I could do that. I still think, however, Tom adds a little bit of fry to his voice when he does it, so I think that's why he's so effective at it. I wish I could half the repertoire Tom did. Black Saber, the Sharky Paper, the great writer, over on Bleeding Fool. One of the places I love to get news from. Says Pet Shop, of course. Little shop. No, wait, that's different. But yeah. Pet Shop Boys. West End Girls. All right. Let's get on to the next story. We do have a few. Like I said, I was not lazing. About this morning. I did have blurry eyes. That's been happening. And you see, this is the problem with getting older. You get blurry eyes. And then you're like, oh, yeah. Not blurry. Where, like, I wake up and I have to have glasses or can't see. It's not getting better, according to the eye people. So, you're spending some more time and money. Money. All right, let's go. Probably going to get claimed for that. Let's take a look at what's going on with Diddy. Not good. Diddy's a big problem for a lot of people. And the longer he sits in jail, the more of a problem he is, because he's closer and closer to actually having to talk about things. He just keeps claiming he's innocent and pleading not guilty, but that's not the solution. There was another bunch of people that did that before and it didn't work out well for them. we'll have to see. But he pled not guilty again to another criminal indictment. This guy just is not winning. He's not winning. He is. He's in trouble. Anyway, so in a Manhattan court today, which is yesterday, in a hearing in his federal case, pleading not guilty to a superseding indictment. My goodness. Earlier this month, prosecutors filed a second superseding indictment against Combs, highlighting new allegations of abusive treatment and the forced labor of his employees. Yikes sauce. In late January, Combs was hit with an initial expanded indictment that included 2 new female victims and accused him of engaging in criminal conduct 4 years earlier than previously stated. My goodness. Don't do this. You know, if you're thinking, hey, you know, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to try to exploit people. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do get more coffee, but don't do that. It's the only thing that I can promote, really. Coffee. Coffee is good. Seriously. Well, I can promote my store, beachpunk.com, where you can get amazing gear, including some new shirts and hats. The new hat has yet to be revealed, but at least for me, but it will be. And you may see some other creators wearing those hats here in the near future. So there's that. I wish that the master of hats, you know who that is, right? The master of hats. That's Polly. Would wear one of my hats, but whatever. Anyway, so both superseding indictments did not list additional charges. Ooh. Also discussed at the hearing, per NBC News, was a CNN tape that showed Combs allegedly doing bad things to his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in 2016. A video we've all seen, well, at least quote-unquote, an edited version. So Combs' legal defense filed a letter in New York court that accused CNN of doctoring the footage and destroying the original copy, which CNN denied. I bet they probably have the original footage. You never get rid of gold like that. Judge Aaron Subramanian told the lawyers that they need to come to a compromise in using the video in the trial, and if not, to both file motions. Well, I have a feeling the government's motion will win, but hey. Combs' lawyers said they recently came into possession of a great deal of medical records and need an expert to explain what they mean. Really? He's not to blame. That's what it is. You're going to find experts that say he's not to blame. He's got some kind of bilateral wicky-dicky weirdness that makes him freak sauce adjacent. I don't know. Anyway, Combs has been incarcerated in Brooklyn since his September arrest. He is being charged with trafficking of a intimate nature, racketeering and not with tennis rackets, and transportation to engage in offering other people's bodies for services, and will remain in detention until his criminal trial. He pled not guilty to the 3 charges initially lobbed against him. They're not grenades, dude. And the judge denied his requests for bail release numerous times before he inevitably withdrew his bids last year. Yeah, well, you know, hey, take $100 million for bail. Let me out. Dude, everybody knows you're going to go run and hide. Okay? So you are the definition of the word flight risk, Mr. Combs. So there's that. I'm just saying. Holy cow, it's Zach. So I hope you're feeling better, brother. Didn't you canceled Circle of Jerks, didn't you? You got to get back to healthy, bro. Maybe I give you a big hug. Will that help? Speaking of things that help, our good friend Angela Richter gifted a Culture Casino membership. My goodness, thank you so very much. That's right. Man, I just want to say thank you. We are growing in membership, albeit a little slowly, but we also are getting members over on on the Rumble side, the Green Machine, the Ranty area. And I have made my final decision. I am going to do one stream a week exclusively on the Green Machine, just FYI. Unacceptable views, excuses. That's right. Medical excuses, though. I mean, well, he couldn't help himself for getting down and grungy. And look, he has a baby oil addiction. Let's just say. Anyway, I don't know. Sex. I'll take a hug. I'll give you a hug. I will. I gave Jonas a hug when I saw him. I give people hugs. I like hugs. Hugs are fun. The artist, formerly known as Dr. John Cusack, says, "Hey, Joe." Well, hey to you, guy. Won't say hi to me. Goodness gracious. All right. Yeah, baby oil. He likes baby oil. Everybody needs 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I think you're right, Ann. I think that helps. Look, I mean, who doesn't want to feel slick and stuff all day? Sam, how's it going? Diddy was made to do bad things by a metal track baton. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? That was crazy sauce. I'm losing my raise. I'm going to thunk this lady in the head. Okay. Skull crack. Wapow. Yeah. Yeah, see, and this is exactly what the argument's going to be. Don't people realize that baby oil addicts are the real victims? I mean, come on. And I go through 2 a day. Oh, no. Batanya Harding. Read by nature with the wind so far. Batanya Harding. No. What was her name? The poor girl that got smashed in the knee. Oh, I forget her name, but that was she was crying. Oh man. Weatherman gifted another Coach Casino membership. Thank you, my friend. Oh, you guys are great. Kerrigan, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Why? I still feel bad. I still feel so bad for her. That was such a hot mess. What a terrible thing. The artist formerly known as Dr. John Cusack says, I never trust the feds. Never, ever. They lie constantly. Oh, I'm with you. But do you think, I'm sorry, do you doubt that he has a baby oil thing? I don't know. It's a lot of baby oil. The feds would have to, why would you bring in a pallet of baby oil? None of that makes sense. But I feel you. I understand. Hang on. Istophobos drops something here. 5 states, Iowa, Maine, Michigan, Utah, and Wisconsin, all the states that we are questioning why they're having so much weirdness happening within them, are considering legislation or ratifying constitutional amendments to either implement voter ID laws or prevent non-citizen votes. That's smart, because those will never be swing states again if that happens. Good news. Thank you, Istophobos. My goodness, right on top of it. My newsman, Istophobos, says, breaking, Ukrainian President Zelensky says there is now a good chance to end the war with Russia less than 2 months after President Trump was elected. Amazing sauce. Amazing neat. All right. What else we got? Let's move on. We did the Diddy thing. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Maybe need to rephrase that. I don't know if I can go back in time and fix it, but I'll try. Let's talk about a disaster, because everybody loves a good disaster. Let's talk a little Rachel. Everybody's kind of primed for this. Paulie's here. He's primed for it. He likes to talk about it. He loves Rachel Zegler. He loves him some Rachel Zegler. They must be related, although she is Colombian and Polish by genetics. I don't know. I know Rumble needs member rants. I agree with you. Maybe we reach out to them. They are innovating over there. Tom is here. Saw him and Magnify over on the Green Machine. Let's see. I don't know why it's doing this, but let's talk a little Rachel Zegler. Okay. So Snow White actor, mind you, admits that Disney scaled back movie premiere due to fear of Rachel Zegler controversies. Criticizes dwarf changes, but repeats the studio's revisionist history, which is dumb because we know better. We have everything, including the bandits that are supposedly still in the movie, the 7, bandit guys, the diverse bandit fest or whatever that was, the dirty hippies, whatever you want to call them. So anyway, Disney is too afraid to hold a full premiere. Martin Kleba, who voices Grumpy in the film, revealed that the studio scaled back the event over fears of backlash. However, despite the criticism of Disney's handling of the 7 Dwarves, Kleba also repeated the studio's talking point that they are always intended to use motion capture animation for the characters, a claim that directly contradicts previous reports, leaked set photos, and even past statements from Disney itself. And again, Kleba, who is a dwarf, would have been a natural cast. None of this makes any sense, but it's a whole other conversation. Disney is afraid of the blowback over Snow White, which why wouldn't they be? First of all, they're open to attacks from both sides of the Middle East conflict that's there and has been for, well, ever, it seems, at least my lifetime. And it was supposed to be a major event and isn't going to be one anymore. It really isn't going to be a red carpet, Kleba said. It's going to be at the El Capitan Theater, which is where all these Disney premieres like this are held for the most part, which is cool. But it's basically going to be a pre-party, watch the movie, and that's it. There's not going to be the whole hoopla of Disney's first blank movie they ever made, because of all the controversy. They're afraid the blowback from different people in society, which is a way to say everybody. You have the people that are, the pro instigators, the Israelis. You have the differences between the two ladies who don't seem to like each other anymore or at all, or if they ever did, at least if you're watching them and the body language between them. You have people that are angry with them changing the film to Snow White, warrior princess, and the socialist messaging behind it. I think people are going to be very, very tired of this. I mean, rah-rah cultural revolution is not something that you would normally find in a Walt Disney production. Walt kind of loved America and was very much anti-communist. So, yeah, I think this is an issue. And Disney does own the theater. Larry, you are correct. The El Capitan is theirs. Kleba criticizes Disney's handling of the dwarfs, but then pushes the studio's revisionist history. I think that's probably the talking point that Disney insists upon, because they don't want to really point out that they had to reshoot an entire movie again, plus additional reshoots later or pickups or whatnot. So, yeah, I would say that's a big, big deal. And like I said, I like Kleba and everything he's been in. So I think it's important to have dwarves. They should have just had dwarves. It's not like there are lacking dwarves. It's pretty wild. Oh man, I'm getting attacked by one of my friends. Look out. In a super chat, no less. And the Jillian is here for 5 Culture Casino memberships. I'm just going to start calling her the Jillian because she is. She is Culture Casino's the Jillian. Well, I mean, she's not. I mean, she's married to another person, and congratulations again. But it's just kind of fun. The Jillian. I love it. Anyway. Thank you again for the 5 Culture Casino memberships. Spring training's happening right now. That's right. That's why nobody's going to go. Nobody's going to go see Snow White. They're going to all be at spring training games. Yeah, Dinklage killed 7 jobs for 7 small actors. Yeah, little people need jobs. These are the best jobs. It's crazy. Gifty, gifty, gifty. I know. Jillian's great. That means we have 6 gifties. Amazing. Hey, the lovely Tina Guzman is here. Hello, my friend. Hello. Tender Warrior is here. It's good to see us. So look at all these people rolling in the door. Yeah, there we go. That's the one I was trying to get to. Mexican Iron Man with the $10 scolding. Exposed. Culture Casino busted on a live stream to visit famous country singer, but leaves Mexican Iron Man without a visit on the side of South Carolina. You don't even know what I'm planning to do, do ya? Just because I'm going to go hang out with Tyler doesn't mean I'm not going to hang out with Mexican Iron Man. If I wanted to hang out with a famous country star, I could just go hang out with Nick. Anyway. No, Tyler's great. What a talent. My goodness. He's got, this is a problem. There's some people that are just so good at everything. That's Tyler. Tyler's good. Plus, that song is top notch. I think you agree, Mexican Iron Man. But no, I want to hang out, dude. You just have to play golf with me. I like mango. I like mango fruit carts. I like mangoes delivered and cut in front of me on the beach. Can you do that, Mike? Or maybe just in the sand trap. Whatever. It'll work. Yeah. Oh man, I always thought it would be fun to do pranks like that. Like go to the golf course in like a bathing suit and just lay out in one of the sand traps. The golfers get all turked off. Wee. Anyway. Yeah. Godot is a professional. Can't imagine. She's fond of Zegler running her mouth. No. No, I don't think so. Congo Kids Club says Disney is well protected. This won't hurt them. Well, we'll see. I think it's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit. Yeah, that one issue. Between Brie Larson and Jeremy Renner. Kind of odd. Jay says, I told you it's Snow White and the 7 Oddities. Okay, fair enough. Go Dodgers. Hi, Latino Slant. There you go. They could do a remake of Time Bandits. Well, unfortunately, they tried. It was on Apple Plus, and it was terrible. And it for 1,000 reasons, including, well, you guessed it, no dwarves. Oh, I have the greatest fans. I have the best chat on YouTube. That is just truth. I mean, I've got Angela Richter, Jillian H. I've got Mexican Iron Man. I've got Larry, Commander and Striker of Shadow, Clifflicks, Latino Sled, JPR PH1, and so many more. I've got Snortopupus Burr, Putin's cat, Istophobos, snakes, and funerals. Fun with collecting. Peter played a giant dwarf in Endgame, and that made Thor's new hammer. So he can play a dwarf, but Snow White can suck it. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Everybody's out there having chats. This is why I love my chat. You guys are chatting away. Culture like a Democrat. Promises made, promises. That's not true. That's not true. I got you, brother. The Ghost Rider. I've been listening to that song on repeat since I heard it on WDW. I know it's amazing, right? What would Walt say? What would he think? What would he do? It's like it invites like 1,000 questions into your mind. Such a good song. The artist formerly known as Dr. John Cusack. I can't say it. As a Jew, I find anyone wishing me and other Jews ill will is kind of gross. Dude, it is. Are you kidding me? It irritates people like me who hates like actual real injustice and the like. So yeah, you grow up with you grow up in my time, in Paulie's time, in Mexican Iron Man's time, and you start to look around and go, what happened to the world? Not only were we on the right track, we had solved 99.9% of these problems. Why are we inventing new reasons to have issues? Dumb. Yeah, Pro did nail it, Mark. Mark Daly here. Good to see you, buddy. Another great chat member. The 7 dirty hippies. Angela, notice I was first. Well, all the ladies here lead the charge. I love it. Cynthia's out there. Tina's out there. Y'all lead the charge when it comes to this channel, so I appreciate it. Anne's out there just going, just hammering home the most important things. That's why Jill's a wrench. I mean, come on. Ladies. Anyway. There's Cynthia. Oof. Good morning, kids. Need the caffeine today. Yes. I feel like I'm a half a pot behind. I woke up this morning half a pot behind. It is not good. Elon said he was worried about, I will not pretend to be able to say that, if he exposed all the corruption. I don't know what you're talking about, but I will look at it. The artist formerly known as Dr. John Cusack says, Putin's cat, how do you feel about Ethiopia and its need to separate out Somalia with Somaliland? I don't know anything about any of these things. I live in an ignorant world, and it's blissful. But regardless, this is over with. I think once we get past the opening next week, we'll know if this thing is dead in the water, if it has a little bit of signs of life, if we are going to watch it tread, or if it's actually going to not just float but be able to swim across the channel. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to succeed as much as Paulie does, but. I think it's going to be able to crawl across 400 million and lose money. But it's been a PR nightmare from the very beginning, as is the sub headline here. And I don't think it's going to work its way back. I think Zegler is certified and guaranteed that this will be a money loser. And that's just the way it is. And, some of that problem, to be fair, or at least I think, is that I went to the wrong thing I was sharing. That's crazy. Try that again. It's this. Zegler fire. What is going on this morning with the browser? Zegler fires back at Snow White fan criticism on social media, always a brilliant thing to do right before your film opens, and uses her role in major box office bomb West Side Story to prove her point. Yeah. She has not had a film that has made any kind of money. I don't want to go into an argument with Paulie as to why, what do you call it? Hunger Games prequel didn't make money, but the P&R on that was too high for it to succeed financially. Anyway, the social media comment that said Zegler off was this one. She was at a recent event in Spain where she performed Waiting on a Wish, in front of the Alcazar de Segovia castle. The real inspiration for the castle in the Disney's 1937 animated film. When Disney shared a clip of the performance on Instagram, one user commented, "No thanks, Disney wasn't so difficult to cast a soprano?" Good question. Rather than ignoring the remark, Zegler snapped back with a self-promotional response, "I am a soprano." West Side Story is now streaming on Disney Plus. Okay. While Zegler won a Golden Globe for her role as Maria, the 2021 Spielberg-directed musical was a complete commercial failure, grossing just $76 million worldwide against a $100 million budget. It's all basically lost $100 million. And despite being celebrated by... No, actually, I lost more than that. Anyway, celebrated by critics, it was a box office disaster, raising questions about Zegler's ability to carry a film. And yet they keep casting her, as Paulie keeps pointing out. He's not wrong. Anyway, this marks one of the first times Zegler has directly engaged with criticism in months, but everybody remembers that, don't you? And her political outbursts and everything else kind of wrecked this. And the question is, why is this the battle she picked? Well, I can tell you as somebody who used to be sought after for their voice, that kind of hurts when somebody digs into a talent that you take pride in. So to me, it's not exactly a mystery. Zegler's narcissist admission and how narcissists handle criticism. Oh boy. So while appearing on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Zegler called herself a narcissist. That saves us the trouble. A remark that seemed to be framed as a joke that many took seriously. Well, I don't think she was joking. Given her behavior. To be clear, we are not diagnosing Zegler. Okay, well, I don't think we have to. But since she herself introduced the term, it's worth exploring how narcissists typically respond to criticism. Well, let's take a look. Narcissists often prioritize personal validation over addressing real issues. Yeah, focus on your strengths, ignore your weaknesses, and don't aim for improvement. And that could be what's happening here. Rather than confronting the widespread backlash against Snow White, well, she was probably also instructed not to, which includes concerns about the film's disrespect for its source material. Well, it's absolutely disrespectful. It is unaligned with the values and virtues of 1937's classic. Its divisive changes, including her very casting, and Disney's overall handling of the project, Zegler instead focused on a single remark that questioned her talent. This is common behavior for people who are deeply invested in how they are perceived. Yeah. And maybe you grow out of it and you just don't care anymore. I think it's one of the reasons why when people lash out in the comments section for me or whatever, my most frequent response is, thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, because it's pretty silly. Actually, she has a point. Her voice is one of her few good qualities. Well, it's true. She's a decent singer. True. And that and help me out. I got nothing. I don't know. I mean, I think under the right circumstances, she could play a couple of different types of characters, but I don't know that she's going to be considered a leading person. I mean, she is I think this is correct by John Gibson. She has Broadway show talent and Broadway, mind you. Oh, not on Broadway? Oh, no. But in the traveling company that plays small towns. Wow. Okay, that's a little rough. But no, she does have, look, I'm going to say something positive. She does have that kind of overacting stage presence that you need for theater. You just have to. You have to over deliver your actions and your emotions because you're being perceived at a distance, unlike on a screen where you're being presented, large enough that people don't have to be looking for any kind of nuanced expression or emotion or any of that. So. Ann wants me to respond to the haters in the chat with love you too. Okay. It's going to be a little weird because I think one of these guys is going to freak out, but it'll be fun. JPS in the house. That's right. Commander Shepard. Good to see you, my friend. Dick Steen says she's talented, but only the way that she is actually trained. Most other actors today have not only no talent, but even less training. It's true. And that's why I was giving her praise for what she's able to do, because on the stage, everything has to be bigger. You have to deliver bigger. It's why there's large actions coming from the actors. So, and she has a decent voice and she's got a really good bolt tone. She could bring it. But here's the weird thing. Have any of you noticed that recently, probably since Frozen, all of the Disney songs have the same pattern and delivery and giant belt tone ringing out long note thing? She was probably a poor choice for Snow White for many reasons, but I don't know. It is what it is. We can't go back. It's over. Evita? Yeah, oh no, she can probably deliver on Evita. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I promise you, there will be lots of dry eyes. Anyway, all right. Man, we're just getting people up. Hey, look, I know there's no love lost with this lady. Zegler would make an outstanding Karen character villain. She would be better than the Evil Queen. I think she should be in a remake of Jaws right at the beginning of the film, but that's a whole other conversation. I've always taken the Steve Martin route when handling hecklers. I remember my first beer. The Cinderella song was just a Frozen song. I know, and that's what it seems like. I mean, her singing on this castle, waiting on a wish, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, please do something better, different. Why? Anyway. And again, that's not her fault. It's the song that was written for the movie. You got to point all around. When you point at how something is bad, you can point all around and say, this is why something is bad. But what is good is my chat. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I have somebody in my chat that I don't get to see often enough. John Coleman is here. What's up, buddy? Member forever. 10 months now. Where has the time gone? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here, John. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm still touting and toting around that amazing challenge coin. And there's that. Our friend Weatherman over on the Rumble side for $1 in Culture Casino Cash says, she's saying, oh, Yeah, you can't say that on YouTube without that name. Understood. And Elon was afraid if he says so much, it might happen. That'd be a real problem. Yeah, we don't want any of these things to happen. Yeah. Chad St. John is in the house. Good to see you. The opening of Jaws would be fantastic, wouldn't it? You want to remake Jaws? Spectacular. Again, it's not a movie you should remake. There's just a lot of movies you shouldn't remake. Try and be creative. Make something else. Make something new. Make something great. Make something that would make Pilgrim Media happy. To be fair, it's great to see Pilgrim Media here. And with a $2 super chat in Culture Casino cash, no less, saying, best medicine for Rachel is public irrelevance. Yeah. Actually, that's a very well thought out comment. I agree with wholeheartedly. Thank you, Pilgrim Media. Man, it's crazy. I'm crazy. Crazy for feeling so lonely. How has that in my head today? Ram, bam, 3000. What's going on, buddy? Jaws is damn near perfect as is. You're right. Don't make it again. I was just suggesting if you were going to. Penny. Just got home. Good to see you, Penny. Is there any movie anybody's going to see this weekend? I can't even think of one I'm interested in. You can't remake Jaws. See? I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, they would definitely ruin Jaws. Mark Daly says Jaws is too good for her. Okay. Sharknado, then. How's that sound? Sharknado? Pino Chase, Helicopter Tours, a fan forever, a supporter forever. One of my pals and buddies for 51 months. Wow. 51 months. How timeth flyeth, as they saith. Yes, they're funny. Sharknado ended with all the movies wrapped up, so no way you can make a sequel after 6. Darn it. All right. Well, there's always like scary movie or something. Juliet says Snow White was based on Maria Sophia Margarethe Katharina Baroness von Unzu Erthal, born 1725 in Lohr Castle, Germany. And the Brothers Grimm read that she had the stepmother who had the mirror. Okay, well there you go. I think I got most of that. Amazing. Jay says I got it. Sharknado the musical. Well, there you go. She'd be perfect for that. All right, let's keep going. We got lots more. And we got Salty Nerd Podcast coming up here pretty quick. I don't want to run over my pals, my friends, my buddies. Don't do that in the YouTube business. You just don't. But the Disney doesn't stop here. No, it doesn't. Greetings from Camp Hiawatha. All right, one last Disney story, and then we move on. And this one, let me tell you, I saw this coming. The minute that election night finished up the way that it did, and we saw the giant political shift that had already happened, that people were ignoring and trying to broadcast around and tell false narratives until their faces turned blue, just to try to hope and a wish that they could fool the American people to vote for against their best interest, I should say. Well, they didn't do that, which means that the little golden girl that was over at Disney wasn't going to get the gig that she probably dreamed of her whole life so that she could put more WEF love into the Disney company, which has been a problem. Thank you, Bob Iger. And I don't think you're going to see this person in a position of power. And if you do, you can just write the Disney company off completely, as the earnings seem to have, well, they are going to be revealed in just a few days, 5 days from now, I believe, in an investor chat that should be open to the public unless Disney chickens out and has AI read the supposed chats again, which we know they're probably lying about, and with even with a larger lack of transparency, so that they can avoid answering for all of their faults. Regardless, we aren't going to get Dana Walden. Dana Walden is now seen negatively as a liability because the Disney, at least as far as becoming Disney CEO, due to the friendship she has with the walking, talking word salad lady. And yeah, it also doesn't seem to fit politically into where the country is headed, what the direction is, or anything else that would seem like you probably want to lean into if you're a company that's lost about 50 to 60% of its popularity. Scott Westbrook is very popular, though, gifting 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Wow, we are doing well. We are now up to 5, 10, 11. We got 11 memberships here. Good for you guys. You are amazing. Well done. But yeah, we've got 5 Culture Casino memberships there. So thank you. Mark Nichols says, happy Saturday. Well, happy Saturday it is indeed, because Mark Nichols yesterday gifted 50 Culture Casino memberships. Thanks again for that. But when you look at that, you guys are great. Got all these memberships. So, a quarterly is coming. Yeah, no, on the 20th. If Disney is giving away D+ memberships, again, laughing my butt off. Yeah, it's worse than that. It's like you can get Hulu and Disney minus for, I think, $3 or $4 a month. Yeah, they're trying to prevent the churn wagon that's been barreling down upon them so that they can at least claim that they were able to retain the same number of subscribers or even promote more. We're going to have to see what comes true in this last one, but no, you're 100% right. Regardless, this is an interesting story because Dana Walden was kind of a shoo-in because they absolutely wanted to force a lady into a position that she really wasn't qualified for. And it's not just because she's a lady. Because there are lots of ladies that would be qualified. In fact, they fired one who was operating Disney Paris for a while, which was dumb. She is probably one of the most creative people and should have replaced Josh D'Amaro as head of parks, which would have been a natural lead-in for this position, but they got rid of her. They got rid of somebody qualified. Regardless, they are preparing to select a new CEO. Well, we knew that's coming, but I think it's going to come from outside the company. I really do. So the co-chair of Disney Entertainment is Dana Walden, and her chances, particularly due to the long-standing relationship with the former U.S. President Kamala Harris, who was in her friends walking group that included Bob Iger around the Brentwood neighborhood. They used to do pretty regularly. So a recent Puck report by Matthew Bellany, and Matt's usually right. Sorry, he was right on the Lucasfilm scoop, no matter what anybody says. So suggests that Walden's 30-year personal relationship with Harris could be a liability. Of course it is, especially as Disney tries to distance itself from political controversies that they brought upon themselves because of their neo-Marxism and their incorporation of identitarian politics throughout the company, to the point where it's literally infected every avenue and aspect, leading to a divisive environment amongst their fans and driving people over to Universal in the theme park realm, and possibly in the future in the other areas that Comcast is going to diversify itself into. By the way, cruise lines aren't terribly expensive. So if Comcast all of a sudden wanted to create a Universal cruise line, wouldn't be hard. You can buy them. So Disney has spent the last few years entangled in political and cultural battles. I don't think anybody would argue it, including that monikered "Don't Say Gay" bill, which was nothing of the sort. And the high-profile feud with the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, over that particular parental rights and education law led to Disney losing its special self-governing district, which it should have lost anyway, because it really wasn't being operated like an actual city, and was kind of operated like how they want to operate the United States, which is why I really am all about dismantling the government that we're doing right now. But under Bob Iger's leadership, Disney has oft-stated that it wants to step away from divisive political issues. Well, you should probably retract almost all of the material that you're trying to shove into front of kids' eyeballs. I mean, it was a good step in the right direction with the latest Pixar animated series that you threw onto Disney Minus, but that's a great step. But the neo-Marxist pushing situation with the louder and prouder, that's a problem. Anyway, under Bob Iger's leadership, Disney has oft stated that it wanted to get away from those things, but beyond words, there hasn't been much forward momentum on that front. The company continues to push divisive, progressive political messaging through its film and television projects and its theme parks, which many feel are no longer suitable for families that uphold traditional values, which, believe it or not, is still 80% or more in the United States. In other words, you are alienating the largest part of your audience, and you're doing it so aggressively that you're losing ground quickly. And once Universal takes over in Florida and steals about 30% of your market share there, I think you're kind of done. According to Belloni, actually, Disney has made several moves in recent months to steer clear of further controversy. These include settling a lawsuit with Trump for $15 million, rolling back corporate DEI commitments, and scaling down its Snow White live-action remake promotion. Hang on a moment. Sorry, had to sneeze. Didn't want to blow your ears off. Reportedly to avoid more controversy surrounding the lead actress Rachel Zegler's past comments. Yeah, but of course, Rachel found another way to irritate people. Belloni goes as far as to call the $15 million settlement a presidential bribe. Well, he does have a little bitter politic in him, too. Hang on. Goodness, I got to stop doing that. Rachel Zegler's Belloni. Okay, we already did that. The reality is Disney settled a legal dispute with Trump over ABC News lawsuit, a common practice in corporate America to avoid prolonged litigation and exposure, and starting to set precedents that would further destroy their ability to lie to people going forward. That's my opinion. With Trump now back in the White House, Disney's board is reportedly weighing how much risk comes with appointing Dana Walden. Given her relationship with Kamala Harris, Walden has hosted the former vice president at her home and even ran a star-studded fundraiser for the former Democratic presidential candidate. Yeah, it would be very bad. If Disney installs a CEO perceived as close to Trump's political opponents, it could put the company in the crosshairs of a vengeful administration. Well, that's probably Belloni's opinion. Belloni notes that Trump has already shown a willingness to use his influence against corporations he views as adversarial. Yeah, given that Disney has spent the past several years being slammed as a partisan corporation, which they are, Walden's connections may give the board pause. Well, it also would not reflect poorly on what they want their direction to be, which would be, one that's positively driven. Disney is negatively driven right now because of their divisive politics. It's nothing anybody can argue about. Regardless, this surmises that it's going to be very difficult to put Dana Walden in that position of authority, and I think that's the only logical position to land upon. Let's see what you guys have to say, because I'm curious. This Dana Walden lady is bad news. Tina's already there, and I agree with her wholeheartedly. Good riddance to her. Disney needs real leadership. Yes, it does. Hang on a minute. gracious. Anyway, yeah, they do need real leadership, no doubt about it. Gollum. And no storytelling. Let's fix it in post. It should be barred. I agree with you. I think you should already have your story going in. I think you need that. Chill powers. Oh, what a tangle web we weave. When first we practice to deceive, indeed. Hey, Scott. Thanks again for the gifties, my friend. Yep, there it is. $2.99 for D Plus with Hulu, and Max for it right now. I see advertised as crazy. Crazy. If we both wear berets, we can claim we are avant-garde directors. Well, there you go. I am trying not to sneeze again. I don't know what's hitting me. The ruling managerial class are quite incompetent. Yes. And can't see that both Kamala and Dana are completely incompetent. Yes. I will say this. I'll be fair. As a television executive, not bad. The problem is that she tries to double as a TV executive and an activist. And she's better at the activism. And she's involved with organizations that are actively subverting freedom and the U.S. government. So, yeah. I mean, technically, the WEF is working to subvert the United States government, which should classify them as something which maybe they'll find their way to. Joker Voice says, this company needs an enema. That's right. Speaking of Joker Voice, I haven't seen him in a minute. I hope he's doing well. I know he has a late night work shift. So there's that. Without a post, you can't have a fence. Thank you, Eric K. Not that kind of, not that kind of post. Wop up. All right. Puck, aren't they just degenerates? I actually think Matt Bellany over there at Puck Media is pretty good. The guy's had industry contacts in various forms and fashion for his entire career, from being a writer to some of the duties that he's performed throughout Hollywood. I would say that not only is he one of the most in touch people, he interacts with all of these people on the regular. So if he's got a scoop or he's talking about things, he knows what he's talking about. As to whether or not they are degenerate, he can't speak to that. Yeah, they did destroy Paris Disneyland. They tried to interject that at Disneyland and at the Magic Kingdom for temporary periods of time. And I don't think a lot of people found that satisfying. Plus, there's better ways to do Star Wars. Yeah, Disney needs new blood. They really do need to clean out. They need leadership that's willing to gut the company and bring in creatives. Oh, I'm a big fan of defense. I think it wins championships, Colin. There's that. You know what's interesting about this statement, Mark, is that women are Disney's religion. Well, I mean, the appeal of pretty much everything is oriented around the princess, right? And centered in traditionalism. There's also a lot of virtuous storytelling, not virtue signaling, but actually storytelling wrapped up in, a psalm or however you want to describe it. But you're learning life lessons through these stories, including, an element of romance, things that ladies aspire to or used to. The problem is they were so heck bent on the feminism that had transitioned from traditional feminism to what is this third or fourth wave at this point? I don't even know anymore. That when they got there, they excluded men. So when they acquired IPs that were oriented around men, Marvel, Star Wars, they pushed the men out. And especially with Star Wars. Star Wars, we don't need 50-year-old men. Yes, you do. You need the fathers and grandfathers that are going to pass this on to the next generation. Doing it what you did was so short-sighted that you've guaranteed failure down the road. And again, this is another problem from modern business school teachings, is that you aren't looking long-term. You're looking for these short-term numbers to elevate, your stock price, which means you often rob Peter to pay Paul. Which surprises me that they're going after the Trump administration for cutting out the dead wood across all these different departments that shouldn't be there, that just waste money. Because in the corporate world, that would be celebrated because you would have better earnings. And if you look at the country as something that needs to have better earnings, which I think we'll all agree we do, you do cut rid of the deadwood and the wasteful spending and all the other stuff that you don't need anymore, which usually, in a corporate sense, the modern era of business school attendees are taught to get rid of the old people. Well, except that there goes all your institutional knowledge and your hopes for the future, because they've likely weathered all of the same problems that you're about to encounter in the past. It's really dumb. You always hire people with the most merit. That's it. And it saves you the world. And if you stuck to that, the original types of things that we would learn in B school that aren't being taught anymore, you'd be far better off. Again, your books might look great for 15 years. You might be able to hide the truth that you're going to stop having innovation soon enough, that you're going to acquire so many people that are unqualified that you will be incapable of producing anything of quality or merit in the future. Because guess what? You abandon the word merit. Regardless, it is what it is. So, yeah, they abandoned men in favor of just ladies, which they promised they weren't going to do. Iger actually was touting the acquisition of both Marvel and Star Wars as appealing to the men, which they absolutely needed, and promptly turned them into girls' properties. It is what it is. Can't do anything about it. I hope somebody agrees with me. Poker Media for $2 says we can take no prisoners, metaphorically. Well, yeah. Seems like. Man, I was talking. That was a little bit of a rant. A little ranty culture this morning. Sorry about that. Yeah, the new Epic universe, you're looking at 30% move in market share in theme parks in Florida alone. That's a lot. Universal is basically rebuilding itself in Hollywood. So over the course of the next decade, I think that's going to be substantially different and even more appealing. Disney could lose market share at its crown jewel, Disneyland. That'd be horrific. They are a decade behind in California at their parks with getting caught up with where they need to be as far as attraction count and capacity. Same problem in Florida. Florida may be 15 years behind where they're supposed to be. I used to have arguments with people in different forums about whether or not Disney needed a fifth gate in Florida. And I was like, they need a fifth gate. They needed a fifth gate forever ago. I was having this argument in 2013 with somebody. And they're like, well, blah, 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 balance sheet, blah, 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 capacity, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're pretending that the resort holdings aren't going to increase. Of course they have to. Disney's real estate holdings are keeping a lot of things aloft right now. People go, what are you talking about, Culture? This Disney Vacation Club thing, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of annual money. And they are repurposing that annual money illegally. And that's another area that the state of Florida should be looking in, is the diversion of maintenance fees from timeshare owners into park revenue. Because that's happening. There are actually more than a few suggestions that they are utilizing the maintenance fees of DVC owners, people who own stock basically in a co-op building, for a period of time. I think it's 40, 50 years. And their maintenance fees that they're charged annually, some of that's being used to support other aspects, whether it be hotel maintenance and services in the other aspects of the hotel locations, or if maintaining the grounds or any of the other things. Their money is being used for other purposes, which is illegal. So Disney needs to be fully investigated and audited in a very uncomfortable way. And I thought the state of Florida would do that, but they didn't. They needed to follow through. They didn't. Don't know why. But I do know this. We have the amazing Clifflix once again. My friend here for 5 more. Culture Casino Cash says, is Disney's board and shareholders moving away from extreme Iger loyalty, or is that only a dream I'm having? No, I think you're right. You're not the only person to suggest this. I think even Pro and I, in some conversations recently, were talking about this. And Jonas, I think, was already there. But I think that you're seeing that they're definitely not loyal to Iger anymore. You're going to see Iger get out and get very quiet, I think, in the near future. And I think in the very near future, they're going to have to replace Iger with somebody who's more palatable to everybody and somebody who really does really understand what's going on in the parks. Because I don't think anybody truly does at the moment. I think even Josh D'Amaro is a lost little puppy. I've never seen somebody rise to the level of such incompetence, or beyond the level of their competence. In the last decade, 2 decades, he really is very incompetent at his job. He goes against his better instincts at every point. Back when he was only in charge of one park, at least he was dedicated to that park, making it the absolute best. But the minute he got over parks and experiences, he was over his head. He doesn't understand. He's looking at it from the wrong perspective. And he's one of the reasons why they're going to gut the heart of Disney World's Magic Kingdom. I can go over it 1,000 times, but they don't have competent leadership at Disney. It's been demonstrated, and that's all under Iger's leadership. Iger has put that company in terrible shape. There was a senior vice president over at Animal Kingdom, I think would have been far better to be in consideration for parks and experiences, but I think he got looked over. I want to say maybe even have moved on to Universal at this point, but I'll have to go look it up. But yeah, no, the board is definitely shying away from even Iger's suggestions, which is probably the way to best serve the future. I think there's a significant shift happening. I think Trump's alignment with Oracle, with the Ellisons, is kind of like a backpedal in a lot of different ways for the future for Disney, because they one of the people that actually was on the board recently was an Oracle executive, and they quit for obviously various reasons, which eventually became conflict of interest with Skydance going to acquire Paramount. So I think that BlackRock's leader, Larry Fink, is going to have the ropes held back on him. He's trying to look for favored status with the Trump administration. Trump and he are friendly, or they're been described as being friendly, but Larry Fink's a scumbag and he's been pushing this stuff. So I have a feeling that even Fink is going to have to roll back on things. Some of the signs of that will have been not participating in HRC and stepping out of DEI support. I think you're going to start to see, even though they're faking a lot of that, I think you're going to start to see them have to really be forced into pulling back even further and going back to purely merit-based things and rejecting Bridge. Because I think Microsoft is now setting itself up to be a target of the administration probably in the next 6 months. And I don't think Disney needs an adversarial relationship with the federal government. It wasn't so bad, obviously, when the Bidens were in there supporting the bologna sausage and shoving it into every aspect of our lives, including the military, making us less ready to defend ourselves. But there's not going to be any more of that. And, I think Trump's executive order telling the district courts to shove it is probably going to be helpful in the future because he's telling them, I don't care what you say. I'm the executive here of the executive branch. I'm making the executive decisions, which I'm legally entitled to do. And once this runs up the flagpole to the Supreme Court, they're going to have to align with the Constitution. And the middle finger to all these little corrupt judges, activist judges, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so back to the original part of this particular comment is you're not having a dream. They're having to realign. And so is the board. So good comment, Cliff. Clifflix. Oh, dude, it's killing me. You know how that's like? It's like you can't stop. Once you start sneezing, you're like, dud. I have a box of Kleenex right here. It's just crazy. Oh, is Tom leaving me? I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Hang on. I got another gifty. Gifty. Give me a minute. I get started talking about Disney and just ran. Yep, parks are losing revenue. Yeah, I actually was talking about that the other day. I've been thinking about making a video about how Disney is kind of like really shucking their primary business, their cash cow. Except at the same time, they're shucking ESPN, which is also, or used to be, a cash cow. ESPN now is going to become a liability. As they lose rights for baseball, looks like they're going to lose the UFC rights. If you didn't watch that video, go check it out. It was pretty good. And check out the video I dropped last night. It's actually in the description down below. I think you will feel like you didn't waste your time. But it's going to be amazing. And you're right. I mean, this new park, Epic Universe, it's going to steal 30% of Disney World's business, a 30% market share. Poof. See ya. It's gone. I don't know that it'll ever come back. The plans to redevelop some of the areas of Islands of Adventure and the areas of the Universal Park itself. Yeah, they're done. They're done. And revenue is falling off. They don't have anything in the works. They should have. Their slow rolling development plans have always bit them in the butt. The Tron one is the worst. They put it in the wrong park. I can keep going, but what's the point? The thing that they really screwed up is not keeping the studio's park IP movie focused and expanding it properly, and having IP invade places like Epcot where it doesn't belong, and not actually aiming towards timelessness in the Magic Kingdom. And in Animal Kingdom, they're going to put Zootopia, which seems weird to me. It's nuts. Weatherman's like, I just don't watch YT chat as much as I watch Rumble chat. I actually have the Rumble chat over here on the right going crazy so I can see everything. So yeah, DeSantis really kind of put the brakes on some of the stuff, and I think a lot of it was because, well, I don't think he just really had the will or the reach. Had he still been in the running for president, maybe that would have got accomplished, because it could have been something he pointed to, but no. And I think you're right. We do need a full SEC investigation. True. We also need an FTC investigation and an FEC, Federal Elections Commission investigation, because Disney did influence an election or tried to. It's illegal. I want to say thank you to Liberty Halls Cat for a Culture Casino membership. Thank you for that, my friend. And Guy Thompson got that one. Thank you. Congo Kids Club says it doesn't matter how badly it's run. Its primary purpose is to accelerate cultural change, which it is doing 100%. Well, if they are trying to destroy Disney and people paying attention to what they produce, yeah, you're right. It is. It's not the cultural change that they want. They're trying to pull the Chinese Cultural Revolution, which it's not going to do, which is what the Snow White movie basically mirrors. I did an entire video that I did not release because it was going to be an hour long, talking about how Snow White was just reflecting everything that was happening in the 1930s in Germany at the Frankfurt Institute. You want to look that up and find out where all the really bad ideas came from that forced us into a World War II. Well, it came out of there. They also became the primary focus for the leader of the WEF, Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is a huge fan of that, especially the banking principles that were put in place there. You wonder why debanking is something that both Canadians and Americans were going to try to do to you if you didn't agree with them. Well, there you go. There's a lot of very bad principles that come out of this, and the control of money and assets to influence not just elections, but cultural direction and lead us into a plebs and serfs environment, which is kind of the ultimate goal. You will own nothing and be happy. No, that's not going to happen, not in the United States. And, we're going to continue to rise up and destroy the mechanisms with which you can harm us, which at the same time will make us even more independent and really build up the way we have our economy running, which is good. But I just didn't feel like anybody was going to want to watch a 1 hour political rant, screed, and expose. I didn't think that was going to work for anybody, so I ditched it. I probably still have the footage, but it would take forever to edit for an hour of video. Let's see. Frontierland is being replaced with acknowledging stolen land. Yeah, kind of. And we don't, first of all, in America, we don't believe that. And we need to bring back the understanding of manifest destiny, but that's a different conversation entirely. The artist formerly known as John Cusack. I got to figure out how to not do that. Disney can't push culture change without money. Right, there you go. And when the parks started losing customers, it was a real problem for Disney, moving their culture warrior status. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a big problem. And not only that, it's reflected in enjoying the parks. Ask Clifflix. He had the same experience I did, which is why I stopped buying tickets, passes, et cetera, for Disney. There's nothing there for me anymore, because when you go in there, the cast members who I used to love, who used to be the last line of defense for Disney and one of the few reasons to go back after all of this stuff started happening, became compromised as well. I'm sure there's still great cast members, probably many of them in this audience that are either watching now or watching on the replay. By the way, if you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay gang down in the comment section below, and be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really is appreciated. If you haven't done that now, please do so. And if you double check down there and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications, don't miss anything. I promise it's worth your while. I try not to waste your time. But when you're right like this and they start to lose their status, they lose their status also as a reason to support them to change the culture, because people start ignoring you. Disney's being, at least their materials, being ignored. If you can't get $400 million out of a movie that you've spent way more than that on, you got a problem. Captain America Brave New World, if you look at the video that's down there in the description, it's the same problem. You can't make $200 million internationally from 80 other markets, or 77 in this case. 77 other markets, in addition to the North American market. The North American market usually is 1/3 of the box office. Right now, it's about half. The international is about half. The international should be 2/3 of the box office, and they're not. And that movie performed so poorly that in the U.S., it's going to barely limp across the $200 million finish line this weekend, as is the international. And so it literally, as I predicted, it's going to crawl over $400 million before becoming completely irrelevant when Snow White opens up to become, it's in itself completely irrelevant at the end of the day. Neither of these movies are going to be profitable, and we're going to be able to hold one of them up as a complete and utter failure. Snow White, of course. Brave New World, we have to fight shill media to expose for what it is, a money loser. But I don't care. I don't mind pointing out how incorrect the shill media is, and Collider is probably one of the worst of them, especially in the article that's saying it's crawled over 3 other superhero movies. Shut up. Shut up. If you adjusted for inflation, it climbed over one of them. Douche. Anyway. Epcot needs Captain EO back. I agree with you. It'd be great. And they need to rebuild Imagination into the original version, and which means if they have to upgrade, if they have to shut it down for a year and bring back the original with better equipment, I'm all for it. That is a treasure. And then turn it into a movie, because it deserved the movie treatment a long, long time ago. And this is the problem. And just, man, you're hitting all the symbols today. So who's going to the parks? Disney adults with no children. Yeah, and that's the problem. Disney adults are appealing to Disney adults, and they're going to die. The boomers that are the largest chunk of Disney adults, they're not even bringing their grandkids anymore. The grandkids aren't interested anymore. Disney is becoming irrelevant in 2 generations, and all of them are happening because of the direction of Iger. People used to complain that Eisner was the problem. Well, guess what, kids? The acquisition and destruction of everything that had an IP by Bob Iger has essentially wrecked the future for Disney. If you're a shareholder right now and you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. You should be talking to other shareholders. This news should be getting around. Disney has subverted its future with its subversion, with its anti-American stance, with all the neo-Marxist language and direction in the company. This is why Walt was anti-communist. Anyway, thank you, Ann. JPRPH1, hey, my friend, for 4 Culture Casino cash, sends me that amazing super sticker with a cup of coffee. Thank you, my friend. I have some. I need more. Mo. Wow. I was going to rebel yell, but I forgot it's morning and I can't sing that high. Coffee. Oh, it's almost gone. Oh, no. A rant means you still care. Yeah, I guess. I feel like I care. I feel like Pilgrim Media is going to say something smart for $2 in Culture Cash. Squandering Epcot was a sim. I was at the opening. Oh, yeah. It was a shame. Man, they killed it. Epcot was the greatest thing. It was 1982, right? Am I getting my dates right? Because it opened 11 years after, 10 years after, 11 years after. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thoroughly destructive. During the 35th anniversary, I bought all kinds of stuff. I was so proud. They were trying to remake some of the elements a little bit, keep them more positive. Universe of Energy was still worth going in for 18 to 20 some minutes of relaxation and rest, and cool air and entertaining little show. Even Ellen was not quite the freak show that she turned into. So, it was fine. It was a good discussion, and it led to a conversation about if the alternative energy would ever be good enough to overcome the oil. Of course, their conclusion had to be couched in a little bit of soft play, ultimately arriving at the idea that, we liked dinosaurs and we still needed oil. So anyway, but the original Epcot is lost. The original intention with the edutainment for Future World is now lost because it's covered in IP garbage. That's kind of sad. Yay. Jeremiah Hembry. Hey, my friend, for 5 Culture Casino captures, can you twice a month give updates on Marvel Rivals? Sure. I mean, that's what that game place is all about, is gaming and the things going on with gaming and the patches that are being put in place for games, especially Marvel Rivals right now, which seems to be one of the biggest games right now. That and Monster Hunter Wilds. I want to say Wildlands for some reason. Yeah, why not? And the Culture Casino is the reason we have is a Snow White movie. What is the reason? I really just to devalue Walt. Honestly, it's the only thing I can come up with. Why would you take the whole reason that there's a Disney company, 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the feature that forced the Academy to recognize it with its excellence and it being a full-length animated feature for the first time ever. A lot of people say, no, it's not true. It is 100% true. Shush it. But it helped develop the innovations of the multiplanar camera. It gave you animations that, for the next 3 decades would drive Disney to becoming much more than just an animation studio, film studio. It allowed for the development of 1955's premier theme park, only theme park to be fair, which is what many other entertainment enterprises had to try to compete with, a theme park rather than an amusement park. There was a lot of thought, a lot of elements of show business that were incorporated into Disney, which made them even more excellent when they pursued the innovations that they found further down the way, not just theatrically, but also in even more theme park development. So without 1937's simple little animated classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, we would not be where we were with the Disney company, and they wouldn't have something else to exploit. So honestly, this new Snow White is nothing but to undermine Walt Disney's legacy. Same for Destroying Rivers of America, something that he had personal hand in, all the way down to the steamboat, the Mark Twain. Man, every time somebody brings this up, it just reminds me how much of a douche Iger is. An enormous douche. And I'm not talking about a shower, you folks from France. Anyway, Fourth Industrial Revolution. Let's hope not. I mean, they really were trying to keep the money laundering going, but that's a different conversation. Probably not for this channel. Georgia Peach says, wow, everything you just stated, spot on. Well, thank you. And it's nice to see you here. Let's see. Keep it real. Walt put out anti-communist cartoons. He did not like commies. He did not. Most people don't realize that it was Ronald Reagan, Walt Disney. It's like a handful of names out there that were pushing back on turning Hollywood fully red way back then. Probably, I'm gonna send you to one of my favorite people, Razor Fist. He did several conversations about Hollywood has always been red. His rants are epic, of course, if you know who Razor Fist is. But you definitely want to check out his channel, and especially when it comes to the Disney company. I think he has the same kind of respect I do. Hey, it's the lovely Becky Brown. Hope you're doing well, dear. Good to see you here. It's been a minute. You know, Honey, I Shrunk the audience was interesting. I really liked the Kodak True Colors inspired thing. I think it was Captain EO was probably the best of everything there. You think about all the greats that worked on that to make it happen. Not just Michael Jackson. I'm talking about the filmmakers, Lucas, Spielberg. I mean, you had all these juggernauts. and the little creatures and everything that were there. It was a real story. It was the use of 3D or four-dimensional use, especially in the theater at Disneyland. That was amazing. There was like literally lights flashing and like lasers all with the music. And that last song at the end, "You're just another part of me." I can't get there today. Normally I do the hee hee hoo, but that's not in the right key, so don't pay attention to that. Hey, Jeremiah Hembry again for another 5 Culture Casino cash. Says, why was there someone who looked like a James Bond villain that leads the W? I don't know, but he does. Klaus Schwab does look like a Bond villain. He does, and I mean that's suitable. And he not only that, he tried to look good in a bikini. Klaus, I'm going to tell you something right now, buddy. You do not look good in a bikini or any bathing suit. You probably should figure out a way to put on more clothes, dude. Anyway, there's that. Wow, Captain Falcon Anti-America. Brave New Flop, true, may lose 300 million. Oh, it's definitely losing at least 200 million. 300 million, I think that's probably in the bag too, but yeah. Mark Nichols, douche. Well, hey, SSG Adam Juneman's in the house. It's going to suck for Disney when banks stop loaning them money because they're not making profits. So I got problems. They got trouble right here in River City with a capital T. That rhymes with P, and it stands for pool. Music Man. Oh, we got trouble. We got Pepita. Hello. Can we be done with Disney? I'm trying. I am part of the rebellion. Are you? Da, 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 da. Go, Jay. Okay. Anyway. John Monkey, how you doing? Hi, folks. Morning or said morning. Well, or mid-morning. Yep. True story. True story. We got Green Machine Gifty. Green Machine. Thank you, Pinochet. We'll get to that in just a moment. We got one in front of you from SSG, Adam Juneman. What's going on, buddy? For 5 Culture Casino cash, saying Disney is going to hurt when giving money because there is no profits. No, I don't think banks are going to give money anymore. You know, I saw you commented this and then supered it. Cool. Yeah, it is. It's wild. But Disney could get to the point where they're not a good risk. It's going to be a while, but my goodness. The penis like, it's 6:33 p.m. Oh, that's right. You are on the opposite side of the planet. Curtis Shaw. Yes, Epcot opened in 1982. That's what I thought. I used to be considered a Disney scholar. So, yeah. Dean Krantz is here. Dang, Epcot was the only WWD that I really enjoyed going to. But Busch Gardens and SeaWorld beat it every time. You know what? SeaWorld works really hard for your money. If you are looking for, you're going on a 3-day vacation, the first 3 days, or you're going on a week's vacation, the first 3 days are probably going to be dedicated to the new Universal efforts. So that's true. There's your first 3 days. But if you took an extra day and did SeaWorld, I think you'd be like, wow, they really try hard. They have better food. Their offerings are better. It's nice to see, real natural things, animals and such. I think you'd be surprised. Are you going to cover Assassin's Creed Shadows launch? I am. I'm actually going to play the game. Yes, and of course we'll be talking about it over on that game place. Probably talking about it everywhere, including this channel, but I will be playing the game starting either on the 20th or 21st. 20th is going to be a long day for me. But most likely the 21st, I will be playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on that game place because I was forced into it by my great audience. So that'll be that. But yeah, we'll definitely be talking about it, news and all of that. That'll be great. For sure. All right. I'm trying to catch up. I saw Carlos Alfredo Lopez out there. Black Samurai. Have you ever heard of Snow White and the Three Stooges? That's a real movie. I bet it is. Three Stooges was great. I loved it. Every one of the things that they did was great. They were fantastic. Of course, when I went to film school, which I didn't stick with, but when I went to do Pursuit of Film, You started out with the silent movies, and then you worked your way up through everything. Your best film teachers are always the ones that will start you in the right place. You got to have an appreciation for silent movies, where it all began, and why movies took off, and then why sound was such a change, and then why, all these innovations were important. You already had a lot of innovations like forced perspective and things like that all the way back in the silent era. And Walt himself was a student of film, even his own. I think it's really important to know how entertainment arrived at the place it is. I think that for sure. There he is. Pinochet's helicopter tours for 5 Culture Casino cash. Says, in 1954, the CIA asked Disney to commission the production of Animal Farm. The funding was provided under the codename Operation Touchstone. Walt did not trust the commie Hollywood, so he sent CIA to UK. There you go. By the way, what was a film studio that later came out of Disney? Touchstone. Disney owns Touchstone and several other Hollywood Pictures, other name brands. Eisner made sure to get those things out in the world so he could produce films that would be outside of the Disney brand, but were oriented around adults and could be, produced. At that point in time, Eisner really understood how entertainment and studios operated and took advantage of them. And because of their ability to distribute multiple films per year, it helped Disney rise to prominence and give them more money to produce the golden era, the new golden age for Disney at the time, with things like Little Mermaid and stuff like that. So it's funny. He had Little Mermaid and Splash. 2 films about a mermaid. Basically the same thing. Came out of 2 different studios that were owned by Disney. Anyway, what about what about that Pretty Woman film? Well, that was Disney film too. A lot of people don't talk about that. Chef Eddie, what's up? Good to see you. Who will see the new James? Oh no, who will be the new James Bond? I'm hoping for Mike Myers, but he may be too old. I think he's way too old, and he's a little touched in the head. No, it's definitely going to be an English person. I think it will be. I mean, they won't pick. So, yeah, McCarthy was right. He was. Sorry. The whole reason that California created a whole extra constitutional law about the protection of political beliefs by people in Hollywood is actually biting them in the booty. And would Disney twice be responsible for getting a law removed from the books because of communism? Wouldn't that be insane? Gina wins, and then Disney works its hardest to get rid of that protection in California. I don't know. Disney's in big trouble. If Gina's court date, if she doesn't settle, I don't think she's gonna. Disney's screwed. Discovery's going to crush them. And then any controversy around any of the testimony would invite more Discovery. This is going to be bad for Disney. I'm very excited. Very excited indeed. Good to see you, that service dog. I'm glad you caught the stream. Let's see. Yeah, MGM Studio, that's an Eisner invention, trying to beat Universal to the punch, who are developing a theme park down the road. They actually tried to make it a studio for a little while. That was short-lived, mostly costuming department. But they did have a decent studio tour to begin with Catastrophe Canyon. Slowly, everything kind of went away and then became unused and uninteresting. And the last great thing that was there that was left over from that era was the Great Movie Ride, which they promptly destroyed and gave us a so-so Runaway Railway with Mickey. With a new animation, which I was disappointed by. We got Pocahontas. Now you know where Touchstone Pictures got its origin. Well, there you go. Thank you, my friend. I was hoping you were alluding to that. Well done. Well done indeed. I have the smartest audience, the best audience anywhere, whether you are on YouTube, Odyssey, Minds Getter, Twitter, or Rumble. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. Hey, Zombo the Great is here. My favorite silent film actor, Harold Lloyd. Safety Last is his best movie. Look, for me, it was Chaplin, but everybody from that era, Lloyd, Keaton, just genius. All genius. Dimension, Miramax. Yeah, we can go through them all. You know, man, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Dean Krantz says, my grandfather was an electrician starting in 1924. He helped bring electricity to most of Ohio. We are 101 years from that time. Film, radio, and even TV were in their infancy then. I know. All the things that have happened in my lifetime are extraordinary, from the moon landing to now. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's John the Beagle Dad. John, you are right. It would be great to look back that far. Youngblood, fantastic. Oxford Blues, great. Finding those on DVD and Blu-ray, extraordinarily rare. These are things that we try to watch. We try to watch things that are a little older on the watch party nights, which is every other Tuesday if you're a gold member or higher, or once a month if you're just any level member on a Tuesday. We do these watch parties. And again, they're every other. We just had one this last Tuesday. They are extraordinary. They're a lot of fun. They're a good time. And we just laugh. We just watched Basketball. Before that, it was the Naked Gun trilogy. We watched the original Crow when the Crow came out. We try to make them relevant, but they're just a blast. We still have the Tower of Terror culture. That's true. At least it has not been converted to Guardians of the Galaxy like they did at the South Disneyland Park, I call it, but other people call it California Adventure. Which I'm like, why are we going to a theme park about California in California? Yeah, that was maybe Iser's biggest misstep, off the shelf rides and things like that, with the only innovation being soaring over California. And the linear induction motor powered launch coaster that at the time was themed around a park, California Screamin', that is now themed around IP. Oh gosh, Disney, give me strength. Now let's see. Fly me to the moon. Okay, we got more. Mo. You guys are on fire. I didn't even get to the next story. In fact, I don't think we're going to be able to. We've got. Let me tell you what. We'll do one more story because I have to, and then we're going to push it to Salty Nerd Podcast, which is coming up in 6 minutes. So here's the story. Bear with me. It'll be fast. We've got angry shareholders that are calling it for protest against Ubisoft, accusing Assassin's Creed Shadows studio being horribly mismanaged and hiding information from investors. All of that's true. Ryan Pearson writes a great story here from Bounding into Comics. If you're interested, please go read it. They are doing some great coverage over here, but I'm going to tell you, this is an expansion of what was already happening. People are so angry at what is going to become a yard sale here very, very soon. Assassin's Creed Shadows is effectively going to lose about half of its audience and about half of the money they absolutely needed for the studio to even survive. Going into this next week and its release on March 20th, I think the only people that are going to be engaged in this are people like myself who are going to be showing you what exactly is wrong with modern entertainment and understand why, when they decided to put all of their eggs in the woke basket, they made a terrible, terrible mistake. To be fair, it's a long time coming for Ubisoft specifically, who were going to be caught up in a Me Too movement of their own in France, because all of their executives, which many of them were the brothers that actually owned the studio, did some bad things with some people that they probably shouldn't have, being accused of all kinds of things and having a lot of employees exit the building during the period of time where they basically converted over to a DEI only production studio. And that gave us a lot of inferior Assassin's Creed games, but also compromised Far Cry and many of their other IPs. This is one of the worst things that could have happened to a game studio, in that now the only thing that's valuable are the IPs themselves and not anything that they're producing. I have a feeling that this investor is correct, calling for a protest and probably a lawsuit, if not one of the many that supposedly are pending about this. Anyway, I don't think China's going to be able to buy enough of this for it to matter, to keep it afloat. I think this will definitely result in a yard sale. And if you're somebody like Elon Musk starting up a new game company, which he says he's doing, I have no reason to doubt him, I would think I would try to get a hold of not only Assassin's Creed, but maybe Ghost Recon or any of the Tom Clancy games that are owned by Ubisoft. The chances of them hiding information are 100%. Because they were basically able to run that studio regardless. I'm not looking forward to playing this game, but in a way, I am, because I'm going to save you all money, time, and frustration. You will be able to watch me suffer on that gameplay coming up on the 21st, would be my guess. So hopefully, if you want to see me in a lot of physical and emotional pain, this will be the game for you, or the opportunity for you to watch me suffer. And good times. Anyway. All right, folks, we've got Salty Nerd Podcast coming up in 2 minutes. So we've got to get over there. Say hi to my friend Matt, Mr. Kadish to you, and everybody else on the team, Alex and Dutch Butters and all the greats. I think Tom will probably be there. And that fella, the Odin, OMB. Check him out. All right. On that note, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that's here, all the super chats that came in, all the memberships, and to everybody that I don't get to see often enough, like Spirian and many more. Jim Who rolled in the door. Thanks for being here. You guys mean the world to me. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. For real.
Culture Casino. 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 Oh. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino.